Avowed definitely feels like an Obsidian RPG, and after my hands-on demo at Gamescom 2024, I am curious to see how it's going to shape up overall. With its Skyrim-like combat, dialogue options that reflect your build, and its newbie-friendly fantasy lore, I'm already intrigued with its world. At the beginning of my hands-on demo, I was given the choice of playing with one of 3 pre-made character builds: a barbarian, a mage, or a ranger. The idea of flicking a wand in combat steered my decision towards playing a mage, but a gaggle of bony skeleton foes put my magical skills to the test. Armed with a wand in one hand and a grimoire in the other, the latter outfits me with 4 different spells I can fire out. I'm being absolutely bombarded by a group of skeletons. Some fire arrows at me, while others slash and bash me with their swords and shields. When a priest enters the fray, who continually heals every enemy I try to take out of the picture, I quickly realise I'm going to have to do some very quick crowd control to get out of this unscathed. I try out an electric power that zaps multiple skeletons around me with bolts of lightning. As they momentarily fry, I jump back and throw several bombs in their direction. All the while, I am constantly firing shots from my wand to whittle down the priest's health. The fight is increasingly frantic, pushing me to use everything I have in my arsenal, as well as a handful of potions. When I take one too many hits, I decide it's time to switch gears and try out the beefier barbarian. At the start, I'm pulled into a quest to find an Adrian expedition team in a cave system, complete with some pretty impressive cavernous vistas. Next to me is Kai, one of the main companions in Avowed. Kai's voice immediately fills me with glee, as his voice actor, Brandon Keener, is also the voice of Garrus Vakarian from Mass Effect.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
My introduction to combat highlights stealth, with a prompt encouraging me to sneak up on a nearby lizard and stab it in the back with my Divine Thorn. Playing the mage, I take the less confrontational route, plunging the luminescent blade that extends from my hand right into the enemy. However, as the barbarian, I do the same thing, but I am far less subtle this time. Instead, I run right up and bash the creature with my 2-handed club. The mage approach feels far slicker, but the barbarian sends the small lizard flying with a satisfying thump. I stumble upon a poor fellow by the name of Cademan who's in need of some healing. From the off, it immediately feels like an Obsidian RPG, with dialogue options that allow for roleplay by reflecting my chosen character's background and strengths. As the mage, I can choose more insightful responses, while the barbarian lets me pick an option that aligns with my experiences in war and battle strategy. As someone who is completely new to the Pillars of Eternity universe, I've been a little intimidated by the world of Eora, but some of my initial fears have been quelled thanks to a very useful feature that you can use during conversations. There's an option to toggle lore keywords, which provide contextual pop-ups for key events or locations in the universe whenever they're referenced. It's a very welcome touch and will hopefully help me get to grips with its story. When I get a first taste of combat as a mage, it's hard not to draw parallels to Skyrim. While it's similar in the sense that you can wield a weapon of your choice in either hand, there's a bit more going on, with a radial wheel that lets me send out companion commands and access potions, which also can be hotkeyed for ease. I do give dual wielding wands a brief whirl, but they don't pack as much of a punch as I'd have liked, especially compared to the spells I can channel from a grimoire. Instead of just casting one spell depending on what I have equipped like Skyrim, I can cast 4 from the grimoire I have equipped from my left hand. I found the mage trickier to master compared to the barbarian, but I did enjoy how much freedom I had to switch up my loadout for any build I create and gear it towards my preferred way to play. As a barbarian, I frequently switched between loadout from a 2-handed weapon to dual wielding an axe and sword with a single button press, and I could chop and change my weapons in my inventory at any time. It's difficult to tell from this small slice of the game how Avowed will shape up overall, but as an RPG fan, I'm already intrigued by its fantasy world. And with plenty of freedom when it comes to what approach I want to take in and out of combat, I'm looking forward to finding the right build for me so I can face up more skeletons with ease. Are you excited for Avowed, or will you be sticking to Skyrim for the time being? Let us know in the comments, and stick with GamesRadar for the latest news, reviews, and more.